Hi, my name is Nur Atika. I will present about the company background for Adidas at time. Okay, first, Adidas is well-known multinational corporation that specializes in the design and manufacturing of sports shoes, clothing, and accessories. So the company was founded in Germany in 1949 by Adolf Dassler. So has since become one of the leading brands in the sport industry. In Malaysia, Adidas has a strong presence and is widely recognized as a top sport brand. So the company has established a numerous retail stores across the country, making a product easily accessible to consumers. So the store offers the wide range of Adidas products, including the running shoes, football boots, basketballs, sneakers, and without apparel. So Adidas has also formed a partnership with various sport teams and athletes in Malaysia. The brand of sponsors several football clubs such as Johor Darul Ta'zim FC and Kedah FA. Okay, for Nike company, Nike is an American multinational company engaged in the design, development, manufacturing, and marketing and sale of footwear, apparel, equipment, accessory, and service related to sport and athletic activity worldwide. So the company is headquarters in the Beaverton, Oregon, as well as the Portland metropolitan area. Nike is the worldwide largest supplier of sports shoes and apparel and leading a manufacturer of sport equipment. So this company was founded on January 25, 1964 as Blue Ribbon Sport by Bill Bowerman and Phil Knight and officially become a Nike on May 30, 1971. So Nike market is product under the own brand such as a Nike Golf, Nike Pro, Nike Plus, Air Jordan, Nike Blazer, Air Force, Nike Drum, Air Max, Nike Skateboarding, Nike CR7 and subsidy, including a brand Jordan, Hurley International Converse. That's all for me. I will pass the next presenter.
My name is Nur Suha binti Arifah. My metric number is A22A1140. I will explain about financial ratio analysis for company Adidas. For liquidity ratio, current ratio. The highest current ratio for Adidas is on 2021, which is 1.56 times. The lowest is on 2022, which is 1.27. Acid test ratio or quick ratio. Okay, the highest quick ratio is on 2021, which is 1.11, and the lowest is on 2022, which is 0.62. And the account receivable turnover, the highest is on 2020 and the lowest is on 2022. And the inventory turnover, the highest inventory turnover is on 2021 and the lowest is on 2022. Average collection period. On 2022, the average collection period is 35.9, which is the lowest average collection period. And for 2021 is 37.39, and the last is 2022, which is 41.01, which is the highest average collection period. Net working capital on 2020 is 3,327 million, and for 2021 is 4,979 billion, which is the highest net working capital. And the lowest is on 2022, which is 2,475 million. For the debt ratio, for 2020, the debt ratio is 68.22%, and for 2021 is 64.60%, which is the lowest debt ratio. And the highest is on 2022, which is 73.64. And for the time interest earned, for 2022 is 4.01. And for 2021 is 16.87, which is the highest time interest earned. And for the lowest is on 2022, which is 2.78 times. For asset management efficiency ratio, for total asset turnover, the highest is on 2022, which is 1.11, and the lowest is on 2020, which is 0.94. And for fixed asset turnover, the highest is on 2022, which is 9.88, and for the lowest is on 2020, which is 9.2 times. And for the profitability ratio, first is gross profit margin. The highest gross profit margin is on 2021, which is 50.7, and for lowest is on 2022, which is 47.25%. Next is for operating profit margin. The highest is on 2021, which is 8.82, and the lowest is on 2022, which is 1.71%. And next, net profit margin. The highest is on 2021, which is 10.60%, and the lowest is on 2020, which is 2.23%. Last is for return on equity. The highest return on equity is on 2021, which is 8.7%, and the lowest is on 2020, which is 6.86%.
The current ratio showed an increase from 2.48 times in 2020 to 2.72 times in 2021. In 2022, the current ratio decreased to 2.68 times. The asset test ratio showed an increase from 1.59 times in 2020 to 2.01 times in 2021. In 2022, the asset test ratio was decreased to 1.84 times. Account receivable turnover showed a decrease from 30.61 times in 2020 to 9.98 times in 2021. In 2022, Nike company showed an increase to 10.01 times. Inventory turnover showed an increase from 2.87 times in 2020 to 3.59 times in 2021. In 2022, inventory turnover was decreased to 3.0 times. Average collection period showed an increase from 26.83 days in 2020 to 36.58 days in 2021. In 2022, the average collection period was decreased to 36.47 days. Net company showed an increase in net working capital. Starting 2021, net working capital is RM 12,272 million, an increase to 16,670 million in 2021, and further an increase to 17,483 million. Debt ratio showed the worst decrease from 74.30% in 2022 to 66.17% in 2021, and further decreased to 62.10% in 2022. Time interest earned showed the decrease from 75.26 times in 2022 to 38.36 times in 2021. In 2022, net company showed the decrease to 51.34 times. Total asset turnover showed the decrease from 1.19 times in 2020 to 1.18 times in 2021, and further decreased to 1.16 times in 2022. Fixed asset turnover showed an increase from 7.89 times in 2020 to 19.08 times in 2021, and further an increase to 9.75 times in 2022. Gross profit margin showed an increase from 43.42% in 2020 to 44.82% in 2021, and further an increase to 45.98% in 2022. The operating profit margin showed an increase from 70.93% in 2020 to 22.57% in 2021. In 2022, operating profit margin was decreased to 22.53%. Nike has shown a consistent upward trend in its net profit margin, starting at 6.79% in 2020 and increased to 12.93% in 2021 and improved to 12.94% in 2022. Nike has shown a consistent upward trend in its net profit margin, starting at 6.79% in 2020 and increased to 12.93% in 2021 and improved to 12.94% in 2022. The return on equity showed an increase from 31.52% in 2020 to 44.86% in 2021. In 2022, the return on equity was decreased to 39.57%.
Now, I will explain the comparison of analysis ratio for both companies in 2022. In terms of liquidity ratio, Nike has a higher liquidity and efficiency ratio of 2.63 times compared to Adidas, which is only 1.27 times. In asset test ratio, Nike also has the highest ability to pay short-term obligations without relying on inventory. Moreover, Nike had a shorter average collection period compared to Adidas. This suggests that Nike had a relatively efficient collection process and was able to convert its credit sales into cash within reasonable time frame. Nike had a higher account receivable turnover compared to Adidas, so they had a effective credit and collection process in place, while Adidas had a slightly lower accounts receivable turnover, which is 8.19 times. Then, Nike had a higher inventory turnover than Adidas, which means Nike had a good indicator that restocks rate and sales are balanced. Nike has more net working capital than Adidas. Nike is able to pay the expenses and immediate rate because the financial condition of the company is in good condition. Next is capital structure ratio. Nike had a lower debt ratio compared to Adidas. This suggests that Nike relied less on debt to finance its operation and had a relatively lower level of financial leverage. But Nike has 51.34 times interest earn ratio compared to Adidas, which is too high. It means that the company has a very EBIT relative to its interest expense. Third one is asset management efficiency ratio. Nike total assets turnover ratio is 1.16 times, slightly higher than Adidas, which is 1.11 times. So Nike is more effective in utilizing its asset to generate sales. In terms of fixed asset turnover, Adidas has a higher ratio of 9.88 times compared to Nike ratio of 9.75 times. Last one is profitability ratio. Adidas return on equity is 12.78%, while Nike is 39.57%, which means Nike is also higher in this category. But in gross profit margin, Adidas ratio was higher than Nike, indicate that Adidas was a better contribution margin. However, Nike had a higher operating profit margin compared to Adidas. Same goes to net profit margin. Nike had a lower ratio, however, it indicates a bigger income to shareholders.
Today, I want to explain the recommendation and conclusion for the whole report. Overall analysis for both companies during 2020 AFT2022. Adidas and Nike both have significant economic disruption during COVID-19, where some industries have a step decline in their business and revenue. Among the recommendation that we taking is learning brand like Nike and Adidas must continuously develop and enhance their business. And then Nike and Adidas can concentrate on enhancing their corporate social responsibility CSR program.